Hi, good morning, guys. Everybody, can you switch off your microphone, please?
They're going to tell you how much is sold, but you have to do time adjustment for this one. So this is question 8. So first thing you have to do is a time adjustment for the cell number 7, which is sold 2 months ago. I asked you to study this. So page 8, I gave you 10 minutes, but you decided to talk to her. Come on. So let's study this. So this one sold 2 months ago. Okay? And sold $146,000. Okay? So can you read? Can I ask you to, anyone who wants to help me here? So can you start reading from after 2 months? So sale 7. So you have to do time adjustment. Anything more than a month or more, you have to do time adjustment.
146,000. It was a little larger than the subject.
Okay.
Requiring an adjustment of 5,800.
So if it's requiring an adjustment is more, am I correct? So this is your hand, this is more is less. So you have to minus. So minus 5,800.
Determined for which an adjustment for $8,000.
So yours has a swimming pool. This one doesn't. Are you in a appraisal class? Or course 1? Appraisal, okay. So this is yours. This one doesn't have it. So yours has a swimming pool. So less is more. You have to add 8,000 to it. Okay? Sales analysis is a fancy way of saying direct comparison approach. Okay? Go ahead.
Indicates in ground is add to the value of a property if present.
So basically they're talking about that 8,000.
Yeah.
So that's done. Okay?
So there was inexpensive carpet in the house compared to the subject's average quality carpet requiring a further adjustment of $5,000.
So show me your subject. First, your left-hand subject. Your right hand is the comparable. Comparable is less. So less is more. You have to add 5,000 to the price. Yep.
Landscaping was superior by $4,000.
So this is yours. This was superior. More is less. Less is more. More is less. So this is minus.
And the condition of the house was superior to that of the subject by $6,000.
So superior means more is less.
The kitchen in this house had just been modernized and it had a brand new refrigerator and required a further adjustment of $3,000.
So again, is this better or your house is better? So this has been just modernized. So this is better than your house. More is less, minus 3,000.
It was built about the same time as the subject.
So good. So that was this one. Now, normally I don't do the second one and third one, but today I want you to read and find which is plus, which is minus. So can I ask you to read the second one? Yeah. Go ahead.
Located a block away from the subject property, but on a quieter, more appealing residential street, comparable property values are about 4,000 higher than the subject.
So is that plus or minus? More is less.
It is about the same size as the subject and has the same number of rooms and bathrooms. It was built about 10 years ago and is therefore in much better condition and has suffered less depreciation than the subject. It is your opinion that this requires an adjustment of 3,000.
So is that plus or minus? Yours is this is less, so more is less.
This property has no sunroom requiring a further adjustment of 3,500.
So yours has a sunroom. This one doesn't. No, less is more. Less is more, plus.
The dining room is small, for which a further adjustment of 2,000 is warranted.
So this is small, so less is more. So you have to know the price on minuses, and this one sold when?
So 4 months ago for 145.
So you have to do 4 months time adjustment. Yes, anything more than a month, you have to do time adjustment. So the third one, who wants to help me with the third one? Any of you? Go ahead, you go ahead, you go. Yeah.
This property was built at the same time as the subject and is located on the same road. It was basically the same plan and is very much in the same general condition as the subject. However, it is not as well landscaped, requiring a plus $2,000 adjustment. Furthermore, it is on a corner and with traffic on both sides, it is less desirable by about 3,000.
So is that minus or plus? So this is less desirable. Less is more.
It sold last week for $135,000.
So last week you don't do time adjustment. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you don't do time adjustment. 1 month, you do time adjustment. So now then they're gonna give you the averages. Average now, average 2 months ago, average 4 months ago. So for the first one, you have to do 2 months adjustment. Am I correct? So the formula that you need to use is this one for the time adjustment. So new minus old divide by old, push percentage. It's gonna give you that. So between now and 2 months ago, which one is newer, which one is older? Now is newer than 2 months ago. Am I correct? So new minus old divide by old, push percentage. So that's going to be 1% going down. From 2 months ago, the prices went 1% down. So for the second one, when did it sell?
4 months.
So you have to do 4 months. So average today is given, average 4 months ago is given too. New minus old divided by old, push percentage. That's going to be 2% minus. So 2% the price went down. Okay? You guys with me or not?
Yeah.
Good. So now they're gonna give you this chart in the exam. So you have to put the basically information here. This is the information about your subject, comparable 1, 2, and 3. So your subject, so the comparable number 1 sold 2 months ago, and this one was 1%, so minus 1% is going to be this much. So it's going to give you this. So you could say multiply by 1%, find this number and minus it, or you could easily just say minus 1% and get this one directly. It doesn't really matter. So this one is minus 2%. So you could say minus 2% and you get this one. This one doesn't have a time adjustment. So the first question, write it on top of this page. What are the time adjusted sale price for comparable number 1, 2, and 3? What are the time adjusted sale price for comparable number 1, 2, and 3? What are the time adjusted sale price for comparable 1, 2, and 3? 3 marks. Yes. So, you got it? So the answer is this. This is the, and so basically, that's a good question. So, this is the 1% of this. So, you have to minus 1% to get this one. This is a 2% of this. So you have to minus 2%, and this one doesn't have an adjustment. So the question is, the answer to those questions is these three numbers. What are the time adjusted sale prices for 3 properties? So next, you have to do other adjustments other than time. So again, you have the plus minuses here. Okay. So you have to add all the plus and minuses together. And this could be a plus or minus number depending on the adjustment. So here we have minus, plus, plus, minus, minus, minus is going to be this much. This is going to be minus, plus, plus, minus is going to be this much. And this is plus and plus is going to be this much. So this number, if it's minus, minus, if it's plus, plus, it's going to give you total adjustment. First you have to get the, what is the adjustment? You know, basically based on that. And then you minus or plus it, and then you get the totally adjusted sale price. So the question, second question, write it after the chart. So write it here, that's question 2. What are the totally adjusted sale prices? What are the totally adjusted sale prices for comparable number 1, 2, and 3? What are the totally adjusted sale prices for comparable number 1, 2, and 3? So the first one, what are the time adjusted? This one is a totally. So that's the second question. So the third question, write it down please. Which one are you going to choose as your appraised price? Between these three, which one you're going to choose as your appraised price? So the answer is always choose the most recent sale. Always choose the most recent sale. So answer is going to be 140,000. The most recent sale. So now, what if we have 2 most recent, guys? So right now we only have 1 most recent. Am I correct? This was one last week. That was two months, and this one is 4 months. But what if the first one, guys? If you go back, imagine the first one was 3 weeks ago. So that was 3 weeks. This is 1 week. So which one are you going to choose? 1 week or 3 week? No. 1 week and 3 weeks, you have 2 most recent. Okay? You understand? They're in the same month. So what if you have 2 most recent? So then you choose the one with the least number of adjustments. So guys, look at here. This one has 1, 2 adjustment. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 adjustment. Yes? So then you go with the one with the least number of adjustment. Write it down. If you have 2 most recent sale, you choose the one with the least number of adjustment. Not the amount, least number of adjustment. So if you have 2 most recent sale, you choose the one with the least number of adjustments. Okay? So that was another one. So we got the question. So the third question. So we did the third question. Fourth question. We made a mistake. Question number 4. We made a mistake. Comparable number 3 sold 5 months ago. Not last week. We made a mistake. Comparable number 3 sold 5 months ago. Not last week. Sold 5 months ago. Not last week. What is the value of this mistake? Comparable number 3 sold 5 months ago. Not last week. What is the value of this mistake? So you're going to go to the time adjustment part. Because we didn't do a time adjustment, you see, for the number 3 because they said last week. Now, they're not asking you to do this again. They're just asking, basically do a time adjustment from 5 months ago and today. Find out what's going to be the time adjustment. So the formula is new minus old divided by old push percentage. So new is 141,900 minus old 145,009 divided by old 145,009 push percentage instead of equal. So 141,900 minus 145,009 divided by 145,009 push percentage. That's minus 2.14%. Okay? Yes or no? So, and how much is sold? Sold for 135,000. Multiplied by minus 2.14%, it's going to be a minus number. So 135,000 multiplied by 2.14%, and it's going to be 2889. Because it's minus, you put a minus in front. %, yes. What's going on? من برم یا شما بریم؟ پاشو برو بنویسم رو ببینم. من با نور دارم می‌نویسم. I wanted to be a doctor, but it didn't happen. So I kept the handwriting. So a 2.14%. So 135 multiplied by 2.14% is going to give you this amount, 2889, and it's going to be a minus number. Yes. So that's a fourth question. So this one has a lot of marks, guys, in the exam. So that's a direct comparison approach. Yes? No, I'm going to teach you income approach. Okay? So this was a direct comparison approach. So I'm going to teach you now income approach. Now, you remember in course 1 we had a potential gross income minus the vacancy minus expenses. You don't, you liars. You know you don't remember. Come on. If you remember, that's odd. You don't. So we had that in course 1. We had it in commercial. So I actually did this once in the morning. So I'm gonna just cheat and use that from the morning. So please go to the piece of paper. You need to write this down. And here. Oh, no, not this one. This one. Nope. So, I'm sorry. If I could avoid writing it again. Yep, here. So, I'm going to explain the question to you so you could write it later. So we did this in commercial in the morning. So I kept it. So because I know that, I'm going to teach it today. So this is about income approach. So you have to first find a potential gross income. So what they do, they give you that this building, guys, pay attention, then you could write it later on. Please, Brampton, put the pen down. I can see you. Okay. So they have 10 one-bedroom. That's renting right now $1,400 a month. That's a rent you're collecting today, but that's not important. What is the potential rent is important. So $1,900 a month. So it has 22 bedroom. That's $1,800 is going right now, but it could go $2,300. So that's what's important, not what's renting, potential. Maybe they're renting too much. Maybe they're renting too little. So what's a going rate right now? It's important. Now, then there has 15 3 bedrooms. That is $3,000 right. It's going $2,500, but the going rate is $3,000. So, but including the parking, so you're not going to pay more for parking. So parking is $50 a month, and laundry is $15 a month. So they say parking, you're not going to rent for the 3 bedroom. Am I correct? Because it's included in their rent right now. So only you could rent to the 1 and 2 bedroom, which is 30 parkings. Okay, but laundry, each unit in average they pay $15. So they're gonna have 45 units multiplied by $15. So if you add all of the rent, is going to be 112, 175. After you add them together, push M plus, M plus, M plus, M plus, M plus, and then push MR, it's gonna give you the total. So but that's monthly. So you have to multiply by 12 to get the yearly. Then they're gonna give you the vacancy, 4%. So you have to minus that, and that's your first question. What is the effective gross income? So that's the first question. What's the effective gross? So after getting a potential, minus vacancy and bad debt, it's going to give you the effective gross. They're going to give you this 4%. So then minus expenses, they're going to give you the expenses. So they're going to give you a list of expenses. You have to adjust it, which I'm going to teach you how. Maybe the expenses they had was 1 million, but after you did it was 830. So you're going to find this, and that's going to give you the NOI. That's your second question. What is the net operating income? Okay, so I want you to write all of it down. Okay, I don't want you to take a picture or anything. Just write it down the way it is. Anything that's highlighted is given to you, so you don't have to know that yourself. You don't have to find anything for that. It's already given to you. Anything that's not highlighted, you have to calculate. I give you 5 minutes. Okay. This is an income approach, yes. The question here is, what is the effective gross income and what's the net operating income for this building? So you got to go home. Again, I did this, but I want you to find the answers yourself, okay? So I had students that they came and they understood in the class, but because they didn't practice, they forgot in the exam. So I want you to go home, put a blank piece of paper on this part of it, and try doing it yourself. Okay? So, and use the memory of calculator if you can, so that's going to be easier.
How would you use that?
Hmm?
The memory? I don't know how to use that.
Sure, I'll show you too. So put it first of all on the surface. So you say, okay, 10 multiplied by 1900. Push equal. So push m plus. You see now this is going to go to m there once. Okay? So, and then you say 20. Don't erase or anything. Just SUNY. Multiplied by 2300. Even you don't have to push equal. Push m plus. So it goes to the memory. So 15 multiplied by 3000. Push m plus. And then 30 multiplied by $50. Push m plus. And then 45 multiplied by $15. Push m plus. So now you have everything added together. Push MR gives you that number. MRC, you see? MRC. So how much is that? $112,175. So that's a lot easier doing it with memory of calculator. Now, MR is if you when you add to the when you want to see what's in the memory, it's called memory recall. MC is memory clear. In your calculator, they put it in the same button. So when you start, you have to push it twice to clear the memory. So push MRC. So push it one more time. So now it's clear. So when you start, it shouldn't be anything in memory. If there's something, it shows M, that means that there's something in memory. You have to make sure that's cleared first. So easier. So then multiply by 12, you get this. Then so let's do that. So 112,175 multiply by 12. So push equal. So that's yearly. So minus 4%. Okay, minus the expenses 830,000. Equal. So you got it. So that's NY.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. It's a lot easier to use the memory of calculator than writing it and adding it in person, and you may punch it wrong. So I strongly suggest use the memory of calculator. It's better than yours. 830,000. Now, are we done? Yes? No? Maybe? Guys, it's Sunday and it is after lunch. So you are sleeping. I have to wake you up. So don't make me do Bruce Lee. Okay? So if you remember from course 1 and 2, you're doing Bruce Lee. We don't do that again. Yes, what's your question in Brampton? That's very good question. That's very good. Bob, what if they don't give you the expenses and they say, okay, your effective gross after you got it, let's say percentage is 30% of that. If expense is 30% of this. So just minus 30%. So so sometimes they don't give you this expense. They say, okay, expenses are 30% of this number. So just minus 30%. Yeah, what's your question? Go ahead. Brampton. Or they say NOI is 60% of the effective gross income. So you have to multiply it by 60%. You're right. So they could give you the expenses as a percentage, or they could give you the NOI percentage of this. Yes. But normally they don't do that. That was in commercial. In this course, normally they give you the list of expenses, and you have to find what expense is related, what expense is not related, do the adjustment for expenses and find that. So I'm going to teach you about this today. Okay. Now, did you get the NOI? What's your question? Yes. Yep. Perfect question, guys. So basically, after you got the effective, they say this building has other income. So like it has, some buildings, for example, they have satellite dishes allowed, and they charge extra the Rogers or Bell to put those dishes on top. So they have other income. So then you add that after this. So after here you add, then minus the expenses. So no, if you add it to the potential, then you're going to minus the vacancy. But that doesn't have a vacancy. That's already is actual, ineffective. So you have to add it to effective, not to the potential. Then you're going to get the wrong answer. So if they give you other income, like other income that it's going to come to you anyway, not from the rent. So you add that other income to the effective. That's going to give you a total effective. Okay. So I'm almost done, guys, here. So we did the NOI. Now you have to find out what's a value. So in course 1 and course 2, guys, pay attention to me. You were getting the NOI. Then you were dividing it by cap rate that they were giving you, or overall rate that they were giving you. And that would give you the value. Am I correct? In this course, they're not going to give you the cap rate. You have to calculate that. So you have the NOI from the previous page. You have to divide it by cap rate. If they give you the cap rate, that's easy. This divided by this is going to give you the value. Yes? But what if they don't give you the cap rate? So they're going to give you a similar building that recently sold and it had an NOI of this much. So you have to divide the NOI by sold price to get the cap rate. Then use that cap rate here. Your NOI from your building divided by that cap rate is going to give you the value. Then because this is more than 500, you have to round up. So you have to round it up. So the third question is what's the value? Okay? So you have your NOI, you have to divide by cap rate to get the value. But they may not give you the cap rate. They may give you a similar property. So whatever is highlighted is given to you. How much is sold and how much you had NOI. So NOI divided by sold is going to give you the cap rate. Then you use it here. Your NOI divided by cap rate is going to give you the value. Draw it up. Draw it up, please. Yep. Net operating income. This is the money you take home after paying the expenses for the building. You passed? Really? Good.
I would have had 94. You know, I got some.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I did okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other.
You passed.
Yeah.
Give me the
Yes.
5. That was amazing.
So now you're Thanks, Bob.
No, thanks for you practicing, not giving up.
Couldn't have done it without you.
No, not giving up, guys. So again, she had a lot of problems, but she did manage to pass this one. Okay. So yes, good news. You made my day.
Thanks.
Yes. What's your question, Brampton? Same cap rate, overall rate, tomato, same thing. It doesn't matter. So that's why I put both. They call it cap rate or capitalization rate, overall rate. Rate of return on your investment. So that was the income approach. So it has a lot of marks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to do expenses. So if you're already done with this, go start reading the question 49 of the handout from the handwritten set. By the way, you have to know how to round up or round down. So this one is rounding up. And sometimes in the exam, they say you have to round it up to the nearest $500. Did you get that or not? Round up to the nearest $500? You're round up to the 1,000.
Round up. Some of them will round up to the nearest.
Really? Okay, so I have to teach that.
And this one, Bob, they got to know this one.
Hmm?
They have to know this one.
I know. The direct comparison approach. I told him today. Don't worry. Come sit here.
Where they confuse you is where the time adjustment is. They give you 3 dates, 3 time adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
and that's where they confuse the crap out of you. Like I would have had 95 had I got these.
So what do you mean the time adjustment?
So here, so the first one, there's no they don't give you a time adjustment. They
Huh?
say between October 1st and assuming October 18 is your date, October 1st to October 18, there's no change. Then they say from September 1st to October 18, it was 2.6% increase. Then from August 1st to October 18, 2.98. So I tried both. I couldn't get it.
So when was the property sold?
October 18.
So October 18 sold?
Yeah, October 18 was the date that
You're doing the adjustment.
Yeah.
So
you're
but
working-
how long ago the first one sold?
Same here. This one's October 9. I tried to write down as much as I could remember. October 12.
There were 3 all in October?
Yeah.
There's no time adjustment.
No, but these two had time adjustment.
There's no time
I
adjustment.
did it without the time adjustment. They didn't come out.
No, so you're saying that all 3 they're sold in October.
Yeah.
And today is October.
But the first one was October 9.
It doesn't matter. If they're all 3 in October, and the month is important, days are not important. So here they say from October 1st to 18, no change. So there's no change.
Yeah. For the
So
first
whatever sold prices, you write it down. No, all of them. You're telling me all of them sold in October. Again, you're going to have the answer. So you still made a mistake anyway. Am I correct on this one?
Yeah.
So that because you did a time adjustment. No, you shouldn't do any time adjustment with this.
No, I did it without the time adjustment, and the answers didn't come out. And I rechecked and checked the figures.
So because you made a mistake on the other ones. So but that one is a time adjustment. So guys, that's what they do in the exam. So they say today is October 18.
Yeah.
The first one sold October 9, second one sold October 12, the third one sold October 14. There's no time adjustment. They are in the same month, no time adjustment. So whatever sold price is, you just put it in a time adjusted sold price. Now, if you have to do the other adjustments, and then the second question is asking what is the totally adjusted price, and maybe you had mistakes in that. That's why you couldn't get the answer.
I checked, Bob.
I know.
I
Listen
checked
to
it,
me.
rechecked. The first one I got it right. The first one I got it right without the time adjustment. I got the right answer the very first time.
Yeah.
The other two, I did it without the time adjustment because I said, okay, they're in October, there's no time adjustment. I did that and I rechecked all the figures like 10 times.
I know.
And the answer
But
is-
you made some very mistake. They tricked you in something. Okay, so but that's not. But then if you get the same thing in the exam, do not do time adjustment. If they're all 3 in October, and today's October 18, there's no time adjustment.
Yeah, see, they confuse you because they say between.
Again, the rest of it is extra information. They say between this and this is this 2%, 1.7. There's no time adjustment. You don't need that. You understand? Anything else they give you about time adjustment is irrelevant information. Okay. So guys, are you done with this? Okay. So can I continue? Yes? No?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes.
Okay, good. So look, let's go to question 49. I want to do the expenses. You got that one, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, all the other ones were good. I'm telling you, Bob, I would have ended up getting 95.
Who cares? You passed.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care about that.
I don't care too.
The
So
other one, I got all the math questions.
good. Let's go to 49.
And guys, be careful on the theory because the theory, they use words that confuse you.
Yeah.
You gotta really, really read it.
Yeah. They're gonna read it. Don't worry. Don't scare them.
I mean, it's easy if you do your homework.
So guys, we are in question 49. They say this building has 53 units. Can I have your attention, please? Let's go to this page. Okay, it's I think page 31. The question 49. Yeah. So they tell you that this is a 53 units. So this has 53 units. They give you what's the gross revenue for the owner. So the owner gave his revenue to you this much, but that's extra information because you have to calculate your own revenue, not using theirs.
The theory question.
Yes, so the theory question says, do you use the seller's revenue? No, you use the potential one, the one that actually you calculate. Then they give you the expenses of the seller. So some expenses you have to include, some expenses you shouldn't include. So the expense that you should include, first of all, the water you should include, the heating you include, fire insurance you include, mine repairs you include, electricity you include, landscaping you include, realty taxes, property taxes you include, But anything that's a landlord's own expense, like, and any renovation, you're not going to include. Like, for example, the landlord had to pay for the mortgage, so that's your problem. You know, that's not going to be in my expenses. So your financing has nothing to do with the actual expenses of the building. So then, so did you get that, guys? So the mortgage, take it out. You can't use the mortgage. So then any modernization, you're not gonna, that's renovation. Any renovation you're not gonna include. Repair you include. Renovation you don't include. Mortgage you don't include. Mortgage you don't include here. So janitor's salary you have to include, but janitor gets a free unit. If you go to the next page, the point, I think is J or something here on next page, or F. Go to the point F and read what point F is saying. Who wants to help me here? You want to read the F? So 850 multiplied by 12 is going to give you 10,200 plus 30,000. So the janitor actual salary is 40,200. It's not 30,000 because he's getting a free unit. Yes. Plus that 30,000 is going to give you 4. So you're not going to include this one. You have to adjust it to 40,000. So painting of a hallway and a common area is down 12,000. But how often do they do that? So go to the next page. Hallways and common areas, when? So point D. Every 5 years, yes? So you have to divide by 5 to get the 1 year. You're not going to include this one. 12,000 divided by 5. So you need the expense for each year. So painting and decorating of 10 suites. So this is the one I need your full attention, and I don't want you to write when I'm explaining this one, the unit ones. I need your attention. Brampton? Because they say they do it every 5 years. Go to the point D on next page. You see the point D? Go to the next page, put a circle on point D. David, next page, not previous page. Next page. Next page here. So you see this is the page? Okay. Here, point D. So, then we have 10 units. It's going to cost you 10,000 to paint. So 10,000 divided by 10 is going to be 1,000 per unit, yes? How many units do we have? 53. We got that from the previous page. So that's going to be 53,000. Then how often do we paint? Every 5 years. Divide by 5, and that's going to be the adjusted per year. Sure. How much is going to cost you to paint 10 units? So how much is per unit? 1,000. How many units this building has? So that's going to be 53,000. How often do they paint? Every 5 years. You need to get the cost, expense per year. Can I continue? Come on. Exterior painting is going to cost you 25,000. But if you look at the next page, they say every 6 years they paint exterior. So that's going to be this much. Carpeting is renovation. You don't include that. Depreciation is not our business. Charity you're paying is not our business. Reserve you keep for a roof is not our business. So you're not going to include these ones. Are you done up to here? So any renovation you don't include. Any money he puts aside for the charity or for reserve, you don't. Those are not legit expenses. You have to find out what is actual expense, what's not. So any renovation you don't include. Any modernization you don't include. But any repair you include. Like painting is a repair. Can I continue? So, what else? Then miscellaneous expenses. So these are for like buying any type of pen, pencil, whatever. So, this is include. Now, management fee was not here, so it wasn't anything here. So imagine this was like this, and I added this in. So, sorry. So imagine this one was like this, and I added this later on. Okay, so the management fee wasn't here. So what was happening in a point B? Can you read the point B, please, on next page? So the management fee is 2.5%, but he's managing, he doesn't pay that. But I have to consider that as expense. Am I correct? So could you read point A? So I estimate this much effective gross income. This is not given by them. So then I have to pay 2.5% of this as a management fee to them, to the manager, if I hire a manager. So that's going to be the cost of manager. So you have to include this, you have to include that. Now, this is going to be wrong, this is going to be wrong, this is going to be wrong. Okay? What do you have to do? All the expenses from the top, if you add them together, the adjusted expense is going to be this much. It's not going to be 390 something. It's going to be 258, 350.72 cents. That's an adjusted cost. After, dividing it by number of the years, after, eliminating the wrong ones, so you get this one. Now, you have the effective gross from here. You minus the expenses. What are you going to get? NOI. And that's a question. What's NOI? So the answer is A, B, C, D. Which one? Can you find the answer? Is it A, B, or C, or D? A. Perfect. So we are done with the income approach. Obviously in the exam they're going to go and say, oh, there's a similar building sold this much, had the NOI of this much, how much is the value of this building according to that building. Okay, so you could do that. We already taught you how to do that. Yep.
Can I have an example for modernization?
Modernization is like they renovate.
So you don't include renovation.
Renovation you don't include. Like they renovate the house. So they change the cabinets.
Upgrade and all that.
Upgrading. Yeah. So, question, guys. Do you have any questions from handout? You go reinstate your license, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm just waiting to.
You have to do a police check.
No, I already did that already.
When?
Before. So they already have that. All they need is the form that says passed.
You could take it online. You don't have to go to it.
No, I know. I'm waiting for them to put it online. They gave me the results the same day.
Okay, good. But you have it online right now.
Yeah, no, she's gonna put it. It's gonna take. I did it on Tuesday, and they don't have it up yet.
They must be so bad at law.
They are.
Because I tried to reschedule my exam, and it's the day before, and they said, look, you can't. It shut down. The whole site was shut down. They're like, we'll just
Monday.
credit you.
You went Monday, right?
No, I didn't go anywhere. I just did it online.
Okay, Monday. My exam was on Tuesday. On Monday, they went nuts because it was the last day deadline day. They had hundreds of people in there. Like you could see the day after, because I was here at 8 o'clock the day after. My exam was at 9. You could see the day after people working there. They were exhausted. You could see that. So they were so kind to me, right? The fellow who was helping me do all this to get reinstated, he saw me. He says, I heard you were coming in for your exam today. I said, yeah. I said, now I'm waiting. I'm on pins and needles. And he says, we don't usually do things. He said, let me see if I can get your results. So he went in and they
Really? Good.
No, that's amazing.
they were, he's amazing. I said, you know what, honest to God, I hope our crowds pass again because he was really helpful.
Good,
So
good.
now I just have to get that paper and bring it down with the letter that Rico sent me, and then they're gonna tell me.
Good,
what I
good,
need to
good.
do.
Guys, so we are done today. So please let me go. I have a showing after this. So I have to go to Aurora.
Oh my God, good luck.
Great place to sell.
Great place to sell. Now I sold their house and closing is May 30th and they don't have a house. So I have to find a house for them. So this poor souls, I sold their house and the guy wanted the closing fast. And I said, listen, I don't know. You want to say, Bob, the price is good. Let it go.